Hi guys, it's Professor McDonald. In this video, I'm going to explain how to get your class participation passports done. So they could be called class participation worksheets, or they could be called pre-class passport worksheets. And you should see something inside your Blackboard course or whatever learning management system we're using that says learning modules or just lessons, something along those lines. So look for a link like that where all your lesson content will be contained. Then look for the learning module that you are presently working on. And then you may see one of two things. You could see a table of contents like you see here, where the links are just all listed out and you can click on these. Or you may see that these individual items are listed in view, in line, in the page. And you can scroll up and down to find what you need. Notice that at the top, there's a link to My Lab All Assignments. So that's for just doing your online assignments. Then there's a link to multimedia library there. And that is where you're going to find the content to help you complete your pre-class passport worksheets. Then we have the actual worksheets listed and a place to upload them. And notice that you will be uploading several sections into one submission. So let's begin by opening one of the links. And here you see there are a few different things listed here, but the one that's highlighted is the one that we want to do. Now, if you're in another class, you may not see so many options, but if there is more than one link, just look for the one that's labeled pre-class passport worksheets or class participation worksheets. The extra stuff might be solutions or additional examples. So this is the only one you'll need to do for credit. So let's go ahead and open that up. And this is in PDF form so that if you're opening it onto a device, maybe like a tablet, it should work fine. And if you have the ability with that kind of device to write on your screen, you are welcome to complete these by writing on the screen and then just saving your completed work, as long as it shows your handwriting working through the steps. You also want to make sure to complete all of the fill in the blank items. Now there are videos that you can follow along with to do the examples. And some of these fill in the blanks may be answered in the videos, but sometimes you're going to have to look them up in the textbook. Once you've completed that, then you'll be able to create a PDF that has the same pages all in order, but just the only difference will be, of course, that they are completed. And then you will upload that one single file into Blackboard. All right, now another option I forgot to mention is if you're printing this out on paper, you may be interested in trying to save paper, and you can do that a couple of ways. Obviously, you can do double-sided printing. Even if your printer at home doesn't have that as an automatic option, usually there's a way to do that manually by printing out all the front pages first and then flipping them over, then doing all the back pages. So there's usually a way to get that done. But also, you may want to try doing multiple pages per sheet. So I'm going to choose 2, and that's the most I would recommend. If it's any more than that, it's probably going to be too small for me to be able to see it clearly, and too small for you to really be able to write on it sufficiently. So that's an option for you if you're trying to save paper and you can write small enough and neatly enough. Right? Now, after you have completed each section, then you'll get to a point where you have an upload with a due date. And all you're going to do is attach whatever file you've already created from your computer. Okay, so now the next thing we can talk about is how to actually create that one single file. First, I'll give you an example of some good ones. This was created with an app that the student found to download to their smart device called Cam Scanner. And they come out really nicely, as you can see, very clear, and it helps you to put everything into one PDF. A lot of students say they've enjoyed using that. I haven't tried it myself, but I think it's a good option or something similar to that that you may find. Also, some students have told me they use their notes on their phone to do this. And An option that I always teach students to do that works usually for anyone, although it requires more steps, is to open up a Word document. And after you've taken pictures of all your completed pages, then you'll be able to insert them into your Word document and just make sure the pages are in order. After you've inserted them, you're going to save them as a PDF, or you can print to PDF by choosing either maybe it'll say Microsoft Print to PDF, or it might just say Adobe PDF. Also, you can use Google Docs if you don't have Word. If you don't have Word, though, on your computer, you have the option of getting that for free as a student of the college, and I have that information somewhere in Blackboard for you, usually under course information. As you can see right down here, I have the link there for students who want to get their free Microsoft Office suite installed on their personal computer. So when you get here, you'll just make sure to go through the directions step by step, and then you'll have all those nice things in the Microsoft Office suite, including Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. But again, if you don't have the capability of doing that, you can always use something like Google Docs. So you get your assignments done, and then you take pictures of them, email them to yourself perhaps, then download them to your computer, then put them all into a Word document in order and save it as a PDF. And then you'll have your one single file. Right? The next thing is how to actually know if you've done well with them. If you go to My Grades, you'll see whatever you've submitted. And I'll show you down, where is it? Where it says upload passports. And look for the first one here. There may be a rubric attached. I'm looking for the first one right here. See how it says view rubric? So I'm going to click on that, and then you see the description of how everything should be completed. And then this will give you an idea of how you will be assessed. Okay, so also after I have scored you, you can go back in here and see what I've marked. So this is just what it looks like before I've graded your assessment. And then after I've graded it, you will see certain boxes checked. You might see feedback from me, a little note of some kind giving you advice of whether you need to resubmit it or not. So make sure to check on that so that you know how to increase your score if needed. All right, now that we've got all the technical stuff of how to print them and how to compile the pages and how to put how to find your rubric and know how you've been scored, let's now talk about how to actually complete them. So we're going to go to back to the learning modules. I mentioned it before, but I'll show it again. We're going to go to where it says multimedia library. You can also access the multimedia library from the My Math Lab page where I have that link here. Okay. You also have a link to the Pearson eText, which is an accessible version of the multimedia textbook, and sometimes this one behaves a little better than the one that you get to through the multimedia library. So that's another option if you're having any trouble. But in all cases, guys, you're going to need to make sure that you always clear your cache and cookies if you're having any kind of issues with things loading in My Math Lab. And there is a link for how to do that. And I usually put it in an announcement, or I put it maybe in course information. But there's a link right here in this announcement. And this is the Pearson website, which will take you through the steps of doing that for any browser that you're using. Okay, so make sure that if you don't know how to clear your cache and cookies, that you learn how to do that in case you ever have any issues with My Math Lab. Because certain features may take a long time to load, if you don't do that. All right, so you can choose, let's say we were going to do the pre-class passport for 2.1. So we're going to choose chapter 2, section 1, 2.1, and then select all, find now, and then you have all the materials that you have available within My Math Lab that will help you with completing your assignments and learning the content. Although I'm going to point out certain things, I would not necessarily ignore the other things that are available, but here's what you can use to help you with those worksheets. Click on the link there for the section. It just says the whole title of the section. And then from here, you'll see that you have the section video, which is usually around half an hour in length, and it covers every single example that's in that set of pages that you printed. And they are perfectly coordinated. So it'll be the exact same examples you're working on, and the presenter will be showing you the steps to complete it. Or you can watch them in pieces. All right, so that's one great option for learning how to complete the examples. But then if there are some answers that you are trying to fill in the blanks for some of the definitions and theorems, then you may need to look them up in the multimedia textbook. Now, you'll notice that this takes a few seconds to load, and if it's taking more than a few seconds, it might be because you need to clear your cache and cookies. Or it could be something else that you need to do a browser check. So you'll notice that back there on that My Math Lab page, there's also a place for you to do a browser check to help you figure out if there's anything else that needs fixing to make your computer play nice with My Math Lab. So once you've opened this up, you're going to be able to find the answers to the fill in the blanks in these. Usually they're in maybe just bolded, like a definition or something, or they could be in a little shaded rectangular box. The answers to the fill in the blanks, like something like this, if you're trying to find a formula to fill in the box. Okay, so all of that is in your textbook along with the actual solutions written out to those examples. So while the videos show someone presenting how to do these examples, those very same examples have the solutions written out in the multimedia textbook. So you will see that there's a video that's coordinated to this exact example, and they're going to show you how to do exactly this. All right, so you can follow along with someone, or you can just, if you're good at reading a textbook, maybe that would be sufficient for you to just follow along with the book. I just know a lot of students appreciate having the videos. Also, if I have provided, or if you notice there's a PowerPoint that goes with, this is another alternative if you're having any kind of trouble accessing the multimedia textbook. You may find a lot of the answers in the PowerPoints because, again, this is going to show you the answers to the examples, and sometimes formulas and definitions are included in these as well. So you can see the distance formula is there. So that you have plenty of options to help you get those worksheets done and learn while you're doing it. Once you've completed your pre-class passports or your class participation worksheets, then you're ready to go ahead and get started on your My Math Lab assignments that are on the computer only. So hopefully this helps. I hope I've covered everything I needed to. Please email me with any questions that you have remaining, and I look forward to hearing from you. Hope you're doing well.